Alrighty, what's up everybody? Peter Joseph here for a late Monday night video. Once again here on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com. Says Peter Joseph. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe right now to this channel and all my other channels down below in hell, otherwise known as the description box below. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. And follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all that other good shit. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to the party. Grab yourself a cold one. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And also, welcome to the party, pal. That's that. Alright. A little bit of a mixed intro, but we go from there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, check out my NXT Battleground review video go. Link is in the description box as well, so check it out. On time, on cue. Alright, I'm tired as fuck, so I'm getting this video out of the way, but by the time you see this, I'll be sleeping. I'll be fast asleep, but it is what it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, really quickly on this late Monday night, May the 26th, 2025, or if you're on the replay, May the 27th, 2025, it is time for your late and out-of-date AEW Double or Nothing 2025 thoughts. You understand? Thoughts. I could do a full review. Just gonna give quick thoughts about Double or Nothing 2025, which emanated from the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona. Excalibur, the man behind the mask, Tony Baloney Schiavone, or it's Tony Schiavone for you people that love Jericho, and the biggest Met fan I know. They won today in dramatic fashion. Walk-off sack fly by my good buddy Frankie Lindor. Mets win. Duh! Mets win over the White Sox. I don't know why the freaking Mets had to, get a walk-off win against the horrible White Sox. But still, a win is a win. Mets win 3 in a row. 2-1 today, and they'll play tomorrow. Well, later today if you're watching this later. But we got that. Tyler McGill on the mound tomorrow for the Metsies, and see if what happens tomorrow. Hopefully the Mets can sweep this garbage team out of New York, and then they have a day off on Thursday. Then the worst team in the league, the Colorado Rockies, come in for the weekend, and we'll see about the weather. Hopefully we can get all the games in this weekend, but we'll see. But hopefully the Mets can sweep them too, but, nothing's ever easy in Metland. But we got that. Alright, let's quickly get to Double or Nothing, and that's it. Alright, we're going to start off with the pre-show, and the first match out of the gate was a women's tag team match player, the Mega Sis. Megan Bayne and her good friend Penelope Ford taking on two hotties, Anna Jay, the woman with a fat ass and a mean attitude, taking on another woman with big boobies, and she got a nice ace too, and that's Holly Cameron. And pretty good match. I like the part where there's a good part in the match where there was Penelope or Megan was on her stomach. Anna was on her stomach, and they forced, I think, Megan or Penelope to basically, kiss Anna's fat ass. I wish that was me, but, Jack Perry would kick my ass too, but, fuck Jack Perry. But that's another story for another time. Alright, so we get that, and, Penelope and Megan do not win this match. Anna Jay, we get a Doomsday device broken up. Megan Bayne goes outside with Anna Jay, which led Holly to hit her finishing move, that's the name of her move, on Penelope Ford, and I knew she was going to take the pin there. 12.5-minute match, Anna Jay and Holly get the win, and I didn't give two fucks. That's that. Alright, then we get to a 8-man tag team match to close out the pre-show. We got the crew of Action Andretti and Leo Rush, or I call them the Omega Shenrons. They team up with Roppongi Vice, or the new RPG Vice. That's Trent and Rocky Romero, let's say. So they take on AR Fox, the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito, and Los Titantes de Aire, that's the Titans of Air, or the Air Titans, that's Commander and Hologram. And as you would think, AR Fox, Bandito, and Hologram. Yeah, the faces get the win, basically. So AR Fox, Bandito, Hologram, and Commander get the win. Alex Abrahantes also at ringside. The hype man, he's there, he's all happy because his men got the win after an assisted 21 plex on Action Andretti. They get the win in 13 minutes. Bing, bang, boom, good night. Worthless pre-show. But we start the show off properly with match number 1 for the women's Owen Hart Cup. We had the CEO. 3 belts. Renee still has the TBS title and still, for now, has the Rev Pro titles, which is really 1 belt. Should be unified, but it's 2 belts. But she's going to lose those pretty soon because she already lost the New Japan Strong Women's title to Azumi at Resurgence. And pretty soon we'll lose the Red Pro title to somebody. So she'll only have the TBS title left. But anyway, Mercedes Moné takes on Becky Lynch 2.0, Jamie Hayter. TBS titles, the titles are not online that Mercedes has. This was a pretty good match. And it went head-to-head with Sol Gruca and Kaylani Jordan, which was much better. But this wasn't that bad. I like Mercedes with the Eddie got in on this. It's the amigos, and Eddie was going crazy in heaven. You know how he is. So she hit that backstabber. Tried to set up the Monet Maker, but Jamie super kicks her into a big-time Lariato, not the hatery, but a Lariato. We go back and forth. Jamie hits a backbreaker circa 1905 for a near fall. They get back up, and a tombstone power driver gives Jamie another near fall. And Mercedes sold that like oof. So Jamie loads up Haterade, but Mercedes counted into a small package. 1, 2, 3. Mercedes Moné wins the Women's Owen Hart Cup, like we all thought she would. So now she goes on to All In on July the 12th to face either Toni Storm or Mina Shirakawa. So we'll see what happens with that later on in the pay-per-view. But this was a pretty good match. 3 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much it. Alright, we get a nice little moment where commentary, Excalibur, Taz, and Tony Baloney, Schiavone, which good old JR, some good health because he is battling, he's battling prostate cancer. So, not fun, but, well, colon cancer, one of the cancers, but. So that was a very nice moment. Hopefully JR is getting better, and he'll be back on the commentary table, hopefully pretty soon. And that's that. But great moment to wish JR good health and good luck. So hopefully we see him back soon. Alright, then we go to match number 2, tag team match player. We got FTR, that's Cash. He's got a clock, Wheeler, and Dax the X Hollywood, Stokely Hathaway at ringside. They take on the Dancing Fool, Danny Garcia, and the great man that he is from England, Nigel McGuinness, me love. This was a pretty good match. Daddy Magic, Matt Maynard at ringside. Do you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? Ask him yourself. This was a pretty good match. Nigel, I mean, he still got it at his age. Wish he was the pure champion by now, but no. Lee Moriarty had a cheat at Final Battle, which pissed me off. So, back and forth they went. Lots of false finishes. Nigel gets hit with a shatter machine on the outside of the ring, and he was, like, done. And then they start messing with Tony Baloney a little bit. And then, actually, Tony Baloney gets up and is like begging for mercy, like, stop the match, he's already dead. And then then that's basically it. And Garcia fights back inside. So a power driver is counted to give Dax Harwood a near fall. And then after basically destroy Danny Garcia, spike power driver. Danny gets his foot on the rope. Actually, no, take that. He gets his foot on the rope, break the count. Then a sharpshooter keeps Danny in trouble, and basically, I think it was Dax had the move on, and Nigel tries to get in the ring to save Danny Garcia from tapping out, but Danny passes out in exactly 22.5 minutes. So FTR get the win. So I guess they can still mess with Nigel, because I think there was some weird stipulation that if Nigel and Danny won, that FTR can't mess with Nigel anymore. Well, we'll see what happens on Collision this week. And Collision, it will be, well, it might change, but it technically right now is at 11:30 this Saturday night because of the NBA, I guess the Western Conference Finals. Or the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the East or West Finals, whatever. If it ends quickly, then it's back at 8, I assume, or they might just go to the Western Conference Finals, or whatever is still left. But, yeah. Late night Collision this Saturday night. But check your local listings for when it actually starts. Because I think the Timberwolves wiped the floor with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let me just check on that. Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, they won. Thank you, Siri. Thank you, Siri. Fucker. Fucker. Yeah. Actually, the Thunder are about to go to the NBA Finals. They're up 3-1. They pulled out a win in Game 4, 128-126. So, Game 5 is Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So, and that's in Oklahoma City. So, if Oklahoma City wins that game, they go to the finals, and then they just wait, the NBA Finals, then they wait for the Pacers or the Knicks to meet them and probably get beat. Well, who knows? It should be a good series with either one of them, but hopefully the Pacers win. Pacers are up 2-1. Game 4 in Indy later tonight on that great station of TNT. So, that's going, same time as NXT. And then Game 5 of that series will be in MSG on, I believe, Thursday or Friday night. So I would think if Oklahoma City wins on Wednesday, then I would think Collision might not be at 11:30 on Saturday night. It might go back to 8 o'clock. Unless Game 5, or Game 6 of the Knicks-Pacers series is that night. But then again, the Timberwolves could come back and win on them. Can make it 3-2 on Wednesday night. Well, we'll have to see. So wait till the end of that game to see what's going to happen with Collision. But right now, Collision is at 11:30 on Saturday night. But it could change. So, as they always say, check your local listings. Well, not your DVR, check your local listings, because my DVR says 11:30 as of right now. Alright, we get that. Alright, back to Double Nothing we go, and Alright, so FTR beats Nigel and Danny Garcia. That sucked, but we get that. Alright, then we go to match number 3, a first time ever stretcher match in AEW, where the object of the match is to put your opponent on a stretcher and then put him in the ambulance. So why not make it an ambulance match? And we all know the master of that one. He's sleeping right now. It's Mikey. So, Mike Awesome. But he's sleeping. Alright, we get that. This was a barbaric match. I like the part where Mark grabbed, I think it was like a Windex or some type of spray, and he's holding Ricochet in a headlock, and he's spraying him with the freaking spray. Then he takes a towel, and he's like wiping his bald head, like he's shining his head. That was hilarious. I was going completely berserk. And Mark with the mohawk, kind of throwing some, throwback to when the great man that he is, Jay Briscoe, reached for the Skyboy. When he used to have a mohawk like that. But, Mark with he tried for he did do an homage to Sabu! Up there. Went for the triple jump, flippy dippity do, and, Ricochet threw a chair right in his face. And, Mark got busted, wide open. He was gushing. It was disgusting. Ugh. But, in any case, Mark was busted wide open because he's carried back to the ambulance, but Ricochet puts him in the ambulance, gets one door shut, and then we see Mark grab a crutch and try to, block the door, and Ricochet slams the door, but the crutch is still there, so the match continues. Mark gets out of that with a fire extinguisher shot. Blow the fire extinguisher. They go back to the ring. Mark hits the J-Driller, but can't win, because you have to put your opponent in the ambulance. Then he sets up a table, hits Froggy Mo! Through the table. Ricochet fights back. And then Ricochet grabs his golden scissors. Excuse me. Starts stabbing Mark in the head. Mark is all staggered. But then, Mark gets the scissors and then starts swinging away like a madman on freaking Ricochet. And then, I don't know if Ricochet got busted open, but I think he did from that. It was crazy. It was like, ah! Shit. I'm like, damn, we're gonna see a murder! Anyway, and then, while that was going on, Ricochet kicks Mark in his balls. Because Ricochet doesn't fight fair, ever. And then Ricochet puts him on the stretcher, sends him into the ambulance to win the match in 16 minutes. Bloody as fuck. This match was great. 3.5 out of 5 stars. And that's that. So after a little bit of a cool down with the second match, we start going on an upswing. I actually went down a little. We went kind of up and down, but like after the tag team title match, I went right back up. So speaking of the tag team title match, we got to match number, I believe it was match number 4 for the tag team, the AEW tag team titles. We got the Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, along with MVP and the newest member of the Hurt Syndicate, Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker, MJF. So they defend against the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and, Dustin Rhodes is 1/3 of the 6-man Tag Team Champions, along with the Von Erich brothers, and those titles will never be defended ever again. I don't know when they do and who they lose to, I don't care. Same thing with the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. Who's going to beat them? Don't know, don't care. Ring of Honor is pretty much a joke right now with their title situations. Nobody defends it, and when they do, it's mostly on pay-per-view. Mostly. So, Supercard is going to be like every title, almost every title is going to be on the line. When was the last time Lee Moriarty defended the Pure title? I think it was once on TV after Final Battle. It's sad. But anyway, this was a pretty decent match. The Hurt Syndicate get the win and retain. Obviously, they were going to retain. We get the spear, sends Dustin through the barricade, and then Shelton cuts off a flippy dippity do attempt by Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God. And Shelton baby super kicks Sammy 1, 2, 3 in a little over 12.5 minutes. MJF did get involved with a cheap shot from MJF to Sammy, which the fans hated. And then MJF, with a accidental distraction, let Dustin hit Shelton with Shattered Dreams. And then, Dustin Rhodes hit a quick crossroads for a near fall. Then he goes up top, but gets pulled back down. MJF then offers Shelton the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and Shelton's like, no, I'm not doing that shit. So a little bit of tension with the newbie. So we'll see what happens with that this week. But anyway, the Hurts to get the win. I thought that MJF was going to cost him, maybe later on, but we'll see. But that's that. So that match I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to the IHOP Denny's Continental Breakfast of Champions Championship. We have Okada taking on Speedball Mike Bailey. And this wasn't great, but we get to the end. They fight and yes, Okada, he hits the falling elbow, not the Macho Man elbow, but it's the falling elbow on Mike Bailey, and Okada gets up, gives everybody the middle finger, bitch, and that's that. And then later on, near the end of the match, they fight. The fight heads to the apron. Speedball hits the moonsault knees of doom on the apron. Ow! They get back in the ring, and Speedball goes for the ultimate weapon and missed. And then he tries for the tornado kick, and Okada with that beautiful dropkick knocks that away. And then Speedball kicks Okada down again for a near fall. Okada gets up, tries for the Rainmaker, and Speedball ducked. And then he hits another kick to drop Okada. Then he goes up top. I think he was trying for a 450 or maybe the ultimate weapon again. But Okada drop kicked him out of midair, picked him up, hit the Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3 to retain the title. Obviously, he was going to retain, obviously. 16-minute match. Decent for what it was. 3 out of 5 stars for that. So, I don't know who Okada's going to lose that belt to finally, but he's kind of gone through almost everybody. But we move on with that. Alright, after that, we start going on the upswing. Alright, so then we go to the AEW Women's Championship. On the line, we have Timeless Toni Storm. Darling! With Nuta at ringside. She takes on the number 1 contender and my 4th amazingly hot Asian wife, Mina Shirakawa. This was great. Mina used Luther as a launch pad at one point. Not launch pad, but quack. But used him as a launch pad to tag Tony down. And then Mina grabs a figure 4. Tony turns over for the escape. Kind of reversed it, and then Mina had to let go, of course. And then they go at it. They slug it out, and then both women fall down for a double down. And then Toni snaps off some suplexes, but her knee, which was damaged thanks to the figure 4, was, it gives out, so she can't do the sexy running hip attack. But Mina is smart, because that's what she is. She's sexy and smart, and she gives good helmets. Anyway, sorry, I had to do a Spaceballs reference. So Mina goes after the knee again. Toni makes the ropes to escape another leg lock. Then a reverse implant DDT gives Mina a near fall. She puts the figure 4 on again, but that gets broken up again with another grab of the ropes. Then they trade small packages. Again, it felt like Collision all over again when Mina got the title shot. So they trade near falls, and then Toni gets right up, grabs Mina, boom! Quick Storm Zero, 1, 2, 3, and in under 16 minutes to retain the AEW Women's title. So she will now go on to in July the 12th to face Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's Championship. Probably lose that because I think Mercedes might win that. and might go back to being 3 belts, 4 belts Monet if she doesn't lose the Red Pro titles in between now and July, or she loses the TBS title to somebody, maybe Athena, but I don't know. We got that. Alright, this match was great. 3.5 out of 5 stars. After the match, Code of Honor, you love to see it, and then they make out, which made every guy stand at attention. I wish I was in the middle of that. Nothing wrong with that, but then Juice Robinson might come out and kick my ass, but, well, fuck him. But I digress. Alright, but, great match, and Toni retains. So we'll see what happens with her this Wednesday night on the program. Alright, then it's time to get serious. Anarchy in the Arena. So we had the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson teaming up with the Death Riders, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli de Suisse, William Yuta, the guy that doesn't understand Steiner math and failed. He failed that, and he couldn't get out of kindergarten. It took him 5 years to get out of that. No wonder he sucks. And Marina Shafir. They take on the Ops, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Kenny, by God, Omega came out like Captain America. I thought that was great. Willow Nightingale, the Wrestling Fun Girl, bam! And Swerve, who came out with a Predator mask. Ooh! That was great. Prince Nana, my good buddy at ringside as well. This match was crazy as fuck. So, they start fighting, and what music that? I think the Bucks were dressed as the Founding Fathers, and they came out with their own patriotic sounding music, which is fucking dumb. I was like, what is this? And they're fighting to beat each other up. And then Kenny gets on the mic, he's like, alright, get this fucking music off. And he's like, okay, let's have some new music. And then I'm So Excited comes on. I'm like, what is this? We're gonna fight in this shit? Oh, I was like, oh god. And Faye's like, what is this?
Excuse me, is this basic? Now why would you use something so primitive as that?
If you don't watch, you ever saw Golden Boy, that's a Japanese anime, by the way, you would get that reference. If you didn't, no, too bad. But anyway, so they start fighting with the Pointer Sisters playing in the background. I thought it was dumb. And then, Samoa Joe starts beating up Claudio at a merch stand. Well, back in the ring, they're fighting, and then everything's like, everybody's like, what is this? What is this? And then Kenny's like, alright, we're not gonna fuck around anymore. And it's like, I was like, did that sit well with you? No! It's like, alright, how about we do this? Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies, and the fans are going nuts. Let the bodies hit and then Swerve on cue when the song goes, Floor! Swerve does a flippy-dippity-doo on basically everybody outside the ring. And then the song starts kicking in. The fans are going berserk. Headbanging and everybody's going crazy. Even Issa was going crazy on the watch-along, banging her head. Something you don't see every day. Because she, you would think Issa's not a freaking metalhead, but she is. That makes me so happy. That's all I gotta say about that. So they're beating the crap out of each other. They fight into the crowd. Marina and Willow are fighting in the parking lot at one point. I was hoping we get like a golf cart somewhere around during the match. Nothing like that. Samoa Joe uses the Captain America shield, which was a crash and with the symbol on it. To beat up on Claudio at ringside. Moxley brings Hobbs into the ring. And then Marina Shafir and Will Nightingale finally come back. Well, they fight to the outside and they come back later. Shibata was in the match too. I forgot about him. And he puts William Unit in a laundry cart, rams him into a wall, because William Unit's the type of guy that doesn't do his laundry. And then we get a barbed wire kick. Jeez. Has William Unit in more trouble. And then Swerve and Kenny beat the crap out of the Bucks. Claudio uppercuts Swerve out of mid-air, swings him into the speaker, which cut off the music, which pissed me off. I'm like, damn, I want to hear it over and over and over again. I miss, Dave! Dave! What do you want me to do, Dave? Dave from Drowning Pool, the original singer who sadly passed away many, many, many moons ago thanks to drinking his, basically his liver blew up. Alcohol poisoning, bye-bye. Said, sucks. And then Willow Nightingale had a frying pan of love. A nice little Final Fantasy reference there, Willow. Little frying pan ping. Your eggs are done. And then the Bucks are back to send Kenny through a table at ringside. And then I think Marina Shafir chained Willow's ear to the ring post. I was like, jeez. And Willow screaming a bit, I can't get this off. Crazy. And Will Hobbs was busted open early on in the match. And you would think everybody else would be busted wide open in this match. Moxley wasn't even bleeding. I'm like, wait a minute, what? He's been in like almost every, well, not every. He's been in the last few Anarchy in the Arena matches. He's been like gushing blood. But this one, no, not even close. I was like, what? Why? So anyway, then everybody goes back towards the entrance, and then Nick Jackson with a swanton threw Will Hobbs on puts him through a table, but Hobbs comes back, gets kneed back down, followed by a chair shot to the head, which I don't know if that busted him open, it was way before that. And then we see Swerve come out on a forklift, I think driven by some guy, and then when like Donald's going crazy, they're doing the dancing, still great. Swerve some onto the Bucks and Moxley, crazy, and then Hobbs is going berserk on the inside of the ring with some spine busters, and then Willow, I don't know how she got she unlocked herself from the chain, but she's finally unlocked. She starts going berserk as well. Joe and Mox grab a choke, and then Shibata and Shafir lock in submissions, and then now, not to be outdone, like everybody else is throwing out submissions. Why not? And then Swerve and Matt break all those up with 450s, and then Matt grabs a staple gun. No, this is where it gets sick. I mean, like, you're about to throw up. Hobbs ain't having any of that. And then, I think it was Matt. I think Matt stapled him in the head, and Hobbs like, yes! Like the coach in Beavis and Butthead, like, kick me in the Jimmy! Yes! I was like, damn, Hobbs, shit. And then Swerve gets his own staple gun. It's like a staple gun off, like ding, 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 like a gunshot, like OK Corral type of thing. And then a low blow cuts Matt off, but then Marina Shafir kicks Swerve in his balls, grabs the staple gun, and staples his tongue! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, I was like, where's the door? I was like, first of all, where's the door? Where's Sami Callihan and where's Mance Warner? Remember that shit at Rebellion and that crazy as fuck match? Where Sammy stapled Mance Warner's tongue to that broken door? Or to the door, and then he like, BAM! He grabbed a chair and smashed the door to pieces. I was like, damn, there goes Mance Warner's tongue was like half off. I was like, shit! Blood was splattered all over the fucking the door, the ring, and everybody out ringside. Oh, well, damn. stable shot to the tongue of Swerve. And then Kenny fires off some Snapdragon suplexes, including one to Marina Shafir because she spit at him. Not a good thing to Marina Shafir. Not that Roddy would care. Anyway, the Bucks come back with super kicks. And then a double one to Rick Knox. This goes back to all... They've been going at it since PWG. It's just sad. Rick Knox just loves that shit. Anyway. Willow is back up for a tombstone. She goes up top, hits the tombstone because the Bucks were trying to do the Meltzer driver. I forget on who. And then it gets reversed, and then Willow goes up top, hits the half of the Meltzer driver on Matt for a near fall, and then Samoa Joe plants Moxley out of the corner, and then we see he's sent for the man. Hook comes back, goes right after Claudio for what he, injuring him and putting him out of action for a little bit, even though he had the concussion, which made him puke. And then Joe's like, "Hey, come on in, help us." And Hook's like, "Fuck you guys." I think he's mad because Hobbs took his place. So I think we might get a Hook-Hobbs feud coming out of that. I don't know, we'll see. And then Joe hits the Muscle Buster on Mox, locks him in the Coquina Clutch, and Mox was about to tap out or pass out. When then Gabe Kidd comes out, breaks all that up. I knew he was going to get in a match. And then he hits a sick pile driver on Kenny. And then William Yuta puts thumbtacks in Kenny's mouth. And then the Bucks hit the EVP trigger on Kenny. Thumbtacks go splattering out of Kenny's mouth. Nasty. And then Joe breaks up a Bulldog choke from Mox on Kenny. And then he starts fighting over to the entranceway. Right around where the ambulance was. Then they're fighting. Gabe Kidd's like beating everybody up. And then out of nowhere, Mark Briscoe with a big flippy dippity do off the stage to take out Gabe Kidd. I'm like, where did he come from? And then the entire team of the Death Riders get put in the ambulance. And then the door's shut. I was like, and then you see the ambulance just start driving away. Bye! And that basically left the Bucks for dead. They're alone with Kenny and Swerve. Swerve's in the ring with with Nick Jackson. And then they both get dropped. And then Prince Nana goes under the ring. I'm like, what does he got? He takes out a box of special shoes for Swerve, which had thumbtacks on the soles on the bottom of it. And I'm like, where did they get that idea from? When the Bucks did that to Candice LeRae way back in PWG, even though Candice came back and won that match and the PWG tag team titles with Joey Ryan way back in the day. I mean, that's like one of the most. I think that is one of the most viewed videos in PWG history. There's many, but that one takes the cake. So he puts the shoes on, and Kenny's with Matt on the stage. He picks him up in a one-wing angel, and then Swerve's like, "Do it!" And then so Kenny hits the one-wing angel through an exploding table. And Onita's like, "Oh, they actually used great explosion this time. It wasn't sparklers going off." I just hit my jaw doing that shit. Oof. Now I got a messed up jaw. That's gonna get clipped. Anyway. Give me a second. Get my jaw back. Okay, we fixed. Alright, so Kenny hits the one-wing angel through an exploding table. Look like both Kenny and Matt got hurt from that. I don't know if they got burned or something. But anyway, Swerve hits the Swerve Stomp with the tacks on his shoes on on Nick. And he goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. This match lasted longer than last year's. Last year's Anarchy in the Arena one was at All In Wembley. Crazy as fuck match. That went like 29 minutes. This match went 35 minutes. Whew. But it was barbaric. Perfect 5 out of 5. If I could go higher, 10 out of 10, infinity times infinity better than that. Diane! Sorry. Let me move that. I'm sorry, I got the Price is Right 24/7 channel watching old school Bart Barker Price is Right episodes, and they're talking to, he's talking to Janice, Holly, and Diane! I read something about Diane on The Price is Right, that Bart Barker and Diane had like a little affair, or a type of, like a fling. I'm like, damn. No wonder she had a lawsuit later on. Shit, she looked good back then. Oh, I had such a crush on Diane. She was just amazingly hot with a good rack. Woo. No wonder Bob wanted that. He was flirting with all of them back in the day because he was a perv. Nothing wrong with that, but come on down, come on down, Diane, right to my nutsack. But anyway, moving on. Alright, so Anarchy in the Arena, 5 out of 5. Team AEW gets the win. But Mox still the champ for now. And, he's gonna look on to see who he faces at All In, whether it be Ocean Spray or Hangman, but we never got to that yet. But we got 2 more matches to go. Alright, so then, after that 5 out of 5 match, we had to cool it down with a 6-man tag team match. We had the Don Callis family of Takeshita, and Kyle Fletcher, the Protostar, and Josh Alexander. They take on the Paragon of the TNT champion, Adam Cole, baby! And Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly, parts. They came down, and like I said, this match was kind of blah. It wasn't great. But, Lance Archer, everybody dies. And Don Callis at ringside. Well, Don Callis was on commentary for a little bit. He gets involved, kicks Kyle in the gut for a little bit. I'm like, oh, dude. Weak kick to the gut, too. But we get to the end, and O'Reilly goes after Josh Alexander's arm, but that didn't work. So, they close on each other for a double down. And Takeshita gets back in the ring with a super power bomb for a near fall on Roddy. But Roddy gets back up with a running dropkick off the apron. And then we get some rapid strikes between him and Fletcher. Kyle wins that. And then Kyle goes for the guillotine. That gets broken up. And then Kyle Fletcher grabs Kyle, picks him up. Bling! Bastard! They get the win. I'm like, shit, I wanted a Paragon to get the win. But it is what it is. Under 13-minute match. Match was alright, but not great. 3 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, because we needed an after, why not? Because it was getting close to midnight. We needed something, an after match. Well, what happens after the match? Shit. So we get that, and then after the match, the entire Don Callis family jumps the Paragon, and then out of nowhere we get Brody King, the big man from the Hounds of Hell. He comes out with some good friends from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tomohiro Ishii, not Ishii, it's Ishii, and the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's Tanahashi. I'm like, where did he come from? I thought this guy was retired, or so we think. But Tanahashi, Ishii, and Brody King come out for the save. So I'm like, okay, are we gonna get some type of multi-man match out of this? I mean, we got six faces, and then we got really 6 people for the Don Callis family. We got including RPG Vice. I mean, yeah, we got the 3 in the ring, Lance Archer and Roppongi Vice. That's 6. So we're gonna get a 12-man tag team match, probably on Dynamite, or I don't know when. Maybe on Dynamite, maybe on Collision this week, knowing Tony Khan. Well, great to see Ishii. We see him every once in a while. Tanahashi we haven't seen since pretty much, well, on AEW television or, whatever. We haven't seen him since, I think, Wrestle Dynasty. The one after Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, he was at Resurgence, but not Resurgence. Yeah, I think it was Resurgence. Not that he did much, but just there. Alright, so, we'll see what happens out of that. But that match I gave 3 out of 5 stars. That's it. Then we go to the main event for the men's Owen Hart Cup, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this was great. Hangman Adam Page about to do some cowboy shit. Takes on Will Ospreay. Reach for the sky. Whoa! Bam. This match was a banger. And pretty much tied Anarchy in the arena for match of the night. Taz explains the science behind a German suplex for a near fall. There was a throw in between. Taz being the tactician that he is. Had to break down the moves and everything. Back and forth they went. Got a sharpshooter, which Ospreay has to get the ropes to escape. Adam Page starts chopping him to death just to wake him up. And they just went at it back and forth. Styles Clash to the floor, which was nasty. And as on the floor, Adam Page, there was almost like a count out of the ring. Adam Page barely got in the ring at 9.99999999999 Batman 5. And then Ospreay hit the Oscar for a near fall. Goes for a hidden blade. He hits the hidden blade, which he hit early in the match for a near fall. And then Ospreay is pissed off, starts beating the crap out of Hangman. And then a big boot knocks Adam Page to the floor. Ospreay then rams him face first into the announcer's table. He is pissed. Then they get onto the table, and then they try to load up. I don't know, maybe with a Tiger Driver, but then the table broke, Japanese table. Just obliterated. And then they're down, and then Adam Page gets the better of what that little thing was. Then after a stare down, hits a buckshot lariat for a near fall. Ospreay comes right back with a Stormbreaker. Goes for another hidden blade, that missed. And then both men are down, a double down. They get back up. Ospreay hits a V-trigger of all moves, a V-trigger. And hits a kind of like half, I don't know what it was, but it was like a one-winged angel, kind of emulate Kenny. Didn't really get all of it, but he got a near fall out of that. And then he picks up Adam Page, tries to hit another Stormbreaker, but he can't hit it. And then Adam Page hits a quick clothesline. And then he goes outside, and he's all fired up. The fans are going crazy. Then he flips in the ring, buckshot lariat to Ospreay, turn him inside out. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. We have a men's Owen Hart Cup winner in Hangman Adam Page. I got that right. I joked. I was like, yeah, Hangman's. I had my gut feeling that Hangman was gonna win this and go on to face Mox. I think he has a better chance to beat Mox than Ospreay does. But at least Ospreay looks very strong in this match. 37-minute match. Because Anarchy in the arena went 35. Then you had to have like a 16-minute cooldown match. And then this went, I think the pay-per-view ended like a little bit after 12. But this match was great. Another 5 out of 5. So Hangman Adam Page wins the Owen Hart Cup and the belt. So now he will face Moxley again. Because they faced off many moons ago. So, So at All In for the women, we got for now it's Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm, and for the men, it's Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. But things can happen in a month because we got Fyter Fest. We got things can they can have matches going all the way into June on Collision. Maybe they bring back Battle of the Belts. I don't know, but right now I think they're gonna start the build up and the hype going into All In for those two main matches. I don't know what will main event that. I would think Hangman and Moxley will main event that unless something's better than that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But 5 out of 5 for that. Hangman's all happy. He celebrates. And he celebrates, and then he looked like he was about to just go to the back, and the show would have ended right there. But then something he hasn't done in a while. He comes back to check on Ocean Spray to make sure his neck and his body is still intact. So he picks up Ocean Spray, and then they have a code of honor that ends the show. I thought that was very good. Great match between two great competitors. I thought Hangman was go back to the ring, fuck Ocean Spray up. Stay as kind of go back to being a heel-ish. But now he's still a tweener. Now, maybe he's starting to turn face a little bit. So, we'll see what happens this Wednesday night on the program with Mercedes Moné and Hangman Adam Page, the champs, and then that's pretty much it for that. So, all in all, I gave Double Nothing higher than NXT. They were on right neck and neck, but I'm giving Double or Nothing the edge, and I'm giving Double or Nothing 8 out of 10 stars. But let me know what you guys thought of the show in a comment down below, and that's pretty much it. Please make sure you hit that like button, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends all over the internet. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to this channel and my other channels as well. Still on a road to 850 subscribers. Hopefully we'll get there maybe by July 4th weekend, most likely. Hopefully we'll get there by Labor Day weekend, but, we'll see what happens right now. We're, on the road to 850, but let's get to 850, then maybe get to 900 by around Labor Day weekend. Maybe we'll get to 1,000 by the end of the year. I know we got 6 months to go, so anything can happen. We're under 200 away from that big, huge milestone of 1,000. That'd be great if I could hit it by 2026. It'd be good, and we'll see what happens with that. And then after that, we'll start the road to 1,250, 1,500. Maybe 2,000. I don't think I'll get to 2,000. Depends on what happens between now and the future, Conan. And that's pretty much it. Alright, we move on. Alright, guys, I am out of here. Have a great rest of your a great day tomorrow, or whenever you watch this video. Hope you have a great Tuesday. If you're still up in the West Coast, God bless you all. And that's that. Thanks for watching, everybody. 8 out of 10 stars for Double or Nothing. Great show. Just 2 big banger matches. Anarchy in the Arena and Hangman and Ocean Spray. Chef's kiss. Great. And we'll see what happens Wednesday night on Dynamite. And then late Saturday night on Collision. And that'll end the month of May. And that's that. Alright, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to sleep. Thanks for watching. Peace.